Hi, this is Antti from React Studio. We released an update to Firebase plugin. This Firebase plugin family is actually plugin family that supports Firebase's backend services. And the latest update will contain new features for supporting collection group queries and increment feature for Firebase. So what are the collection group queries? They are basically, if your Firebase database is containing like nested collections, and you want to query the collections which are nested to different documents. Previously, it wasn't possible to query all those collections, but now it is possible to do it. So this is really this is from the Firebase blog. This is really simple and quite the basic structure that you may have restaurant documents, and then inside every restaurant document you have a reviews collection. So before this, you always had to create reviews collection to the main level, but now if you want to query all the reviews from all the restaurants instead of just querying reviews for one restaurant. But with collection group queries, you can query these nested collections as well. And then we have the increment, which is basically what it says. It increments or de-increments value in a document. So this is handy for example, if you create this kind of step meter, and you can update that. Let's add 2000 steps to the total steps. So this increment takes care of updating the value in a document. Previously, you had to create cloud functions and stuff like this to make sure that if there are like millions of users, that everything goes well. But now you can use increment, and that will increment whatever value you add to the field. So how should we use this plugin? First, you need to open the React Studio, go to plugin store, and then install the latest Firebase plugin. You will probably, if you already have installed this plugin, you will probably be prompted that there's a plugin update, but you can update it from here, or just go to plugins, so plugin manager, and then click update plugin if there's an update available. So let's start so that we'll extend the chat app that we previously created. And what we do, we probably want to add a login, Google login for the app, and also screen that lists all the messages from the logged in user. And our database looks like this. The structure is so that we have chat rooms, and each chat room document has a field chat room name and then collection messages. So this is the collection where all the messages will live. And inside the message document, we have message body, sender username, and timestamp. So what we want to probably do is add a user ID here, because we are going to have a logged in users from now on in this app. So we'll add a user ID here, and I think that's all we need to do for the database. And in a React Studio project, what we need to do is add a screen and add a login, and then revamp the chat message item component a bit, because I think we should add a like button so we can just demo the increment feature there. So let's start doing it. So this is the old welcome window. What I want to do is actually get rid of that. Just click delete block, and then add a login gate. And this we're going to call login, and open the login gate and add a Firebase login component here and add a key line. This is simply for the, and add it in the middle, that we get the login buttons in the middle of the screen, and align it from the center to key line. And now it's centered on all device sizes. And by default, we're going to just use the Google login. And here are the data slots. After the login, we want to store some data from the user. So we're going to store username, user email, user, well, I don't think we need a user photo, and then we want to have the user ID in a data slot. So let's create the data slots first. So this is data slot user ID, data slot user name, user email. And let's add a user photo as well, even though we probably don't use it. It will be just a string, a URL string. Let's get back to the login and select the Firebase login and just select the data slots here, username to username, email to email, user photo to user photo, and then user ID. And click this and enable auto sign in for returning users. It's handy just because then you don't have to log in if you already had login to the app. Then we need to go to login screen settings and select the login gate settings here. So we're going to use web service, and the connection will be the Firebase connection we already added to this project. And when unlocked, go to, I think we want to go to screen called chat messages, or no, sorry, chat rooms. Where is the chat rooms? There. And if login fails, then probably we want to stay in a login screen like this. Okay. And then we need to add the first launch for the whole project, because I deleted the old one, so I need to select the login there. And then we should get the lines here showing how the flow goes. So that's all about the login. And then we should create the, let's start with the increment. So I have a chat item. Well, let's just show how it works, the messages screen. So here's a list, and this is the list containing all the chat messages. And as you can see, there's already a button which just deletes the message. But let's add a new button. Let's put it in the foreground group next to the trash button there, and align it from the, not from the left but from the right side. And I think we should change the icon a bit. We should have here somewhere thumb up like this, and I can just duplicate this one and select the thumb down, and there we have our like buttons. And then we want to attach the interaction, the increment interaction here. So I'll select the thumb up, go to interact. When user taps, save data, and this is where you find the increment. You just need to select plugin, and again the Firebase plugin here, and field. I think we want to call this field likes. So when user clicks thumbs up, we want to add one like. And then for the dislike, same thing, save data, plugin, Firebase Collection, likes, and it will be -1. And then lastly, I think we want to show how many likes the message has, so we can just add a text here, text label. This is just placeholder text for the likes amount, and attach. We need to create new, because I think I should show it like this way. We don't have the likes here yet, because in the original user database we don't have the likes field here. So I can just create one for the one document. I can create likes. Let's add a value 0 here, like this, and then go to datasheet, chat messages, and reload the button. Oh, I need to search for the right chat room. So here's I've just said this is the selected chat room key, which takes when you select chat room from the main screen, the chat room key will be stored here, and this will be used for the query, for querying the right chat room messages. So I need to, for the testing purposes, I need to copy this chat room ID, and because in here I created the likes. So if I just copy this here, then go back to chat messages, I will be able to query that chat room, and here we have the likes column here. And then go back to the chat item, sorry, chat list item, and we should have this ready here, and this is ready, and now we can just select the likes for the text. Oh, there's the likes. So the amount of likes will appear below the date, and then hit Command S to save the project file. So now we have the login gate for the app, and we have the increment, so we can test it out now. And here we have the app running in the browser. Let's sign in. Yeah, I forgot to actually enable the identity provider in the Firebase backend. So this is important. Go back to Firebase console, authentication, sign in method, and we'll enable Google. Click save like this, and now we should be able to run this again. I can select my Google login, and this is my list of chat rooms. If I go to cars, as you can see, there are already messages here, but none of them have any likes. But what if I click, for example, here? I get 1 like here. I can click again. Now it has 8 likes, and with the thumbs down, I can decrease the likes. And if we go to go to my backend database. I just need to find the right. This is called first chat room. And this, I need to find this chat message. So at the chat room, where's the first chat room? Here it is. And here's the Dwight message, best idea ever. If I click like this, like 9 likes for it, I should be able to find it from here. Yeah, here it is. So it's 9 likes. If I decrease it, now it has 6 likes in database. So that's how you use Increment. Pretty simple and pretty awesome. So next, we should go dig into the collection group queries. For example, in this app, we have a database structure, chat rooms, and then chat documents. Messages collect, chat room document, and then messages collection. So if I want to, for example, user wants to see all the messages the user has sent. So we need to query between different chat rooms. In a database, it means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, like many chat rooms here, and each of these will contain messages collection. And I want to query between all these messages collections. So let's start by adding responsive screen. I will call this user messages and add a nav bar for it. Then go to data, add sheet. This will be user messages like this. And now we need to just select the web service, which is the Firebase connection. And this is the important part. By default, you will add a collection ID here, but if you want to do a collection group query, or you query collection groups, you need to type here group, and then the group collections are named messages, what I want to query. It will be like this. And now it will show me all the messages from all the chat rooms. But this is not enough, because in our case we want to have the user ID as a column here, and we want to query based on the user ID. So we need to add the user ID to the database, and add the user ID to the sending the chat message feature, and then we want to have a query where user ID equals user ID. So let's start with the front end. So this is the send message, and by the way, again, we need to start from the actual chat message. So I want to add a field called user ID, and this will be something demo ID. Doesn't matter what you write here, it's just important that we get the user ID. Head back to the data, go to chat messages, just reload the data, and now we have the user ID column here. Then go back to the send message, click send, and user ID, and we want to save the data slot user ID value. This is the thing that the login gate will save. So the user ID will always be stored in the data slot. And this will be stored to user ID column in document when you add a new message. And based on this, we can always make query. And then go back to the user messages, reload data. and here we have the user ID. So now we need to build the query. So I have a query here ready. Just copy it here and type it here. So it's where user ID equals data slot user ID. So let's make sure that we have the data slot user ID written like that. No, it wasn't. I think it says, or I can just copy this. And then order by timestamp. Again, hit reload data. And now we get error, but it's just showing that we need to create index to the Firebase database. And actually, it's really easy. You can just copy the URL from here, and you don't need to manually create the index. You can just go to the URL, and it will automatically show you all the things you need. Just create index. And now it's building the index. This will take some time. And now we finally have the index ready here. So let's head back to the project and click OK to get rid of the error message and reload data. And we should get like empty list. Like it said, it didn't return anything. Just delete these rows again and reload data from service, and it will show me that there's no data. But because we already had there one document with user ID, I just need to check what was the user ID for the document. Yeah, it was demo ID. So what happens if I add demo ID to this as a default value for this data slot? Then we should get one row here. Or was it demo ID? Was it written with user ID? Oh, it's using, sorry, I was using the wrong data slot. So it's a user ID here. And let's try again. Oh, yes, now I got all the messages belonging to this user ID. So that is ready now. Now we are able to do this collection group query. So this data sheet is this is using the collection group query, and it's querying all the messages for a logged in user. So let's create the screen. This is called user messages, and maybe we could add a few lines here. Or by the way, we don't actually have to create a new one. We can use this chat list item component again in a list here. I think we should maybe add one thing here and change because now we're showing the sender username, but now because we have the login for the app, I think we should show maybe the user for example user email in this field. So let's find the user email. Where is it? Sorry, we're not actually saving the user email. So let's fix that. send message. Let's go back to the send message. So this is the place where we send the message. And again, because we have the send the username here, we are saving the username there. But I think it's better to use email in this case as a username, so there's no conflict between, like many users would have the same username, but many users don't have the same email. And let's head back to the chat item. And yeah, the send the username is correct there. And it will show the user email from now on. Go to user messages, then add a list. We want to show all the user messages in the list. Make it full screen and select data. And I want to show take the items from the where are the user messages. Was it called user messages 2? Let's see. I want to call it user messages data. So now it's using the data source will be the datasheet that we just created, that's containing all the user messages. And then as a list component, we want to show the, I think there was a chat list item that will do the trick. And list item will be chat list item. Yes. And there we should have the oh, it's the list by default, it has a number of columns set to 2, but I want to set it just 1. So now we should have the list showing data from user messages datasheet, which is using the collection group query to just fetch the users messages from all chat rooms. And we're using the same component in a list that is repeated for each message, and the component has all the needed features for saving, adding the likes and stuff like that. So let's hit open in web browser. By the way, there's no link to this user messages screen, so let's fix that first. And let's head to the maybe chat rooms, and I can just delete that one and just add a button on top of the list. This is not like too fancy, but it will do the trick. So there's a button, show all my and allow stretch. It will be minus 20 pixels from right and 20 pixels from left. And then move the list closer here and add go to interaction to user messages. And here we have now we have the link to the screen. And again, opening browser, and I'm logged in user, and there are no user messages created with this user, but let's fix that. I can go to cars and my first message. Just send it, then go to another chat room, hello world. Again, now this user should have two messages, and maybe third message as well. So now this user has 3 messages, and I can see the messages here. You can actually give some likes for these messages here, or delete the message here. So sorry for the long video, but this is how you can use Increment with Firebase plugin for React Studio, and how you can use collection group queries with Firebase plugin for React Studio. I will include this for React Studio project to the link below, and you just need to create your own database and add your own credentials for the Firebase plugin here. But otherwise, you should be able to use this project as a baseline for your own project. So thank you, and have a great week.